Well, good morning, everybody. This is Jenny Norris, host of Homestaging Talk Show Live. I got a new banner, but it's kind of tall, so I was going to show you. Oops. Sorry. Homestaging Talk Show Live. Okay, so anyhow, we had a bit of technical difficulties this morning getting on. I got to figure that out because I'm not happy with this new platform. So anyhow, welcome everybody to Homestaging Talk Show Live. I am your host, Jenny Norris, and I've got two guests that will be joining me today. And I sent them the connection, so I hope that they are able to get in because this is not great here. So let's see here. Anyway, so we have a great show for Joseph Haecker and JoAnne Lenart joining me today. And so I had sent them the links and so forth. So if you guys are watching now, JoAnne and Joseph, go ahead and come into the studio. That link I sent you, it's https app.blive.tv/8525/guest. So I sent that to you guys via Facebook yesterday. So hopefully you have that. And can people on the other end, are you able to see me? So people who are tuning in to the Homestaging Talk Show page, if you could let me know you see me. Otherwise, this is futile. Let's see here. I think this may not even be streaming where I need it to go. So let's just take a look on my phone here while I'm just babbling away. Let's see here, pages. Okay, let's see what's happening. Okay. So I am live. Good. Okay, good. So I'm going to write a comment on my phone here. So https. Sorry, you guys. They changed their platform. It is not intuitive at all. It's clunky, and I have to renew in 63 days, which I probably will not be doing because I will probably find a different platform that isn't as hard to get things set up. So can anybody see me? So Joseph says he's on. Okay, good. So Joseph, I put a comment in, and also for JoAnne too. That's the link you need to come into the show. So go ahead and click on that. All right. Well, welcome everybody. We didn't have a show last week because I was sick and had a flare-up of a diverticulitis situation. So I was on 2 prescriptions and feeling better. But just a reminder to drink lots of water, get up and move around. It is not a function of necessarily what you eat and so forth. It's more about keeping things hydrated and moving through. So anyhow, I was not feeling well last week, so I did not have a show, but we're looking forward to speaking to our guests today. So while I'm waiting for them to come into the studio, we make a few announcements. Oh, there's JoAnne. Hi, JoAnne. Hey, Joseph. You guys are there. Yay! And the way they have this thing is a slider across the bottom instead of last time it used to be grouped across the bottom and different grids. So, okay, we got our guests on. I just hope we have an audience. Otherwise, we'll just be talking to ourselves. So announcements, of course, we have our conference in Denver coming up next year. So this is tickets are on sale for the people. Anybody can buy a ticket, but if you attended 2019 in Nashville, which was fabulous, there are special prices for you, and they are going to expire at the end of this month, and then you will not be able to get them anymore. So we've been sending out announcements on that. And if you haven't been getting those, you got to let us know, but you do get a special price for those of you that attended 2019. The 2020 ticket price is special for you. And we also have the ability for you to break it into thirds, so you can put down to your deposit to lock in your spot for the special price, and also your priority position, your priority seating and so forth, which is the new VIP. So we're changing the word to priority, and so you'll be able to get your priority ticket. And so don't forget to do that. Go to iHospitalConExpo.com to get your ticket. All right, let's bring that down. And of course, the Gaylord, we're having it as a beautiful hotel in Denver. So this is just a couple of shots of the main lobby. When you first come in, you walk down, and it's just a really large feeling lodge feel, and the view out the back is of the Front Range and the Rockies that no one will ever be able to block. So it's going to be a great location, great time. All right, and then we have our iHosp Europe event, which of course is happening, and our theme for 2020 is Vision for Success, because 2020 vision. And so we wanted to kind of play off those words. So focus, clarity, and future is the tagline, and we're focused on our vision for success. So that's the logo for our conference. You'll see that a lot. Europe announced they're finally selling their tickets. Of course, we're going to be going to Lisbon, Portugal. So I'm very excited. And oh, good. So Vicki, you are there. Yay. So anyone else that's tuning in, I apologize for the delay. It was technical difficulties, and it turned out it was on my part because I'm not familiar with the setup. But regardless, we're here, and Portugal is going to be great. And I look at that shot, and doesn't that look like the Golden Gate Bridge? Those of you that have been to San Francisco, it does. And when I see something going across a waterway like that, I'm always amazed at the engineering feat that goes into building these bridges. But that's a beautiful location. And the hotel, of course, is this old world style hotel in Portugal, the Pastana Palace Hotel. And I wanted to see if this would actually play. I don't know if it will or not. I don't think I can do a video. Let's see if it'll work. This is the video promo I wanted to show. Let's see, I don't have any sound though. Here we go. Kind of a montage of what happened last year, as well as things we're doing this year. See some familiar faces. Tickets, iHosp.com. It's a beautiful hotel. Video's not showing? Oh, all right. Well, I guess that doesn't work then. You guys just had 2 minutes of music. Well, also, it was fine for me. I don't know why it wasn't showing for you guys. Okay, so anyway, this is like a technical difficulty show. That was a video, so we do have it on the site. So they're doing their first European home staging Oscars. So Sonia and Verena have worked very hard to put this together, the show. So thanks, Joseph, for letting me know. I'm like dancing and moving around, and there's no video. I think I'll be editing this show, cutting out the beginning. The European Oscars, so they're going to do their very first awards ceremonies. That's why we didn't have the Europeans recognized at our conference in Nashville, not because they weren't deserving, but we had made an arrangement, an agreement that we wouldn't recognize them at ours. They wanted to do it at theirs in May, so that's totally fine. And there'll be the parameters and so forth will be set out, but you see they're going to recognize best occupied, best vacant, best vacation rental, and best luxury staging. So, Vicki said she could see it. Oh, bummer. So maybe you just couldn't see it. Okay, well, it's good to know. We'll play it back. So I cut it off early, but basically, if you want to, when you want to register, go to iHospEurope.com, IAHSPEUROPE Europe.com. The hotel, the Pastana Palace, they got a 49% off rate, and I have checked it against hotels.com and Priceline, and it is way less than either of those discount platforms, even Expedia. So don't wait to get your hotel rooms. Evidently, that's a weekend or something of some religious holiday, so it could fill up. So don't lollygag and not be able to get a space. And I think the rooms are $215 a night or something with tax. Now they do take the payment up front. It's non-refundable, or at least 50% of it's up front. So just make sure that you're coming before you book that. But that's going to be really, really exciting. And so we welcome everybody from the U.S., Canada, Latin America, any place. We have members, South America, South Africa, Australia. Who am I missing? Israel. So we just launched all these different chapters. So make sure that you get your reservation. It's a smaller event versus Nashville or our events here. So it's a 1-day conference. And then the second day, we'll actually be teaching. I'm going to be teaching the consultation and communication course for those who would like to learn that aspect of business. You're really kind of honing in on the consultation. And so there could be people from the US that want to attend that. That's an optional event. So the agenda will be education. They provide lunches. There'll be a little continental breakfast. They love their coffee. They drink coffee all day long. And then they like to party afterwards. And so there'll be a celebration event after. I do believe there's a dinner as well, the awards dinner. So it'll be a really fun, packed day. And then the next day is the consultation communication course for those who want to receive that designation. So, all right. One of the things that Andrea Faber, I don't know if you're listening or watching, but she had talked to me about this. Some of you guys are familiar with the Red Shoe movement, which is women supporting women. And so she had written to me about how stagers can support stagers. And so kind of playing off of this, because we're not just a women-owned industry, you know, there's lots of guys that are involved as well. So I didn't want to make it just about women, but we wanted to do something. We wanted to start a movement to do Stager Wednesday or raise, and then hashtag raise the standard. So every Wednesday, we want you to post pictures and use these hashtags. And that'll create awareness for not only the staging industry and, you know, staging business as well, but also raising the standard, which is what we are working towards doing with our formation of the Home Stager and Property Marketer Alliance group, which is continuing to move along. And with that should hopefully launch by the first of the year at the very latest. So we're making good progress on that. And some great minds are behind the formation of that. So if you guys have any questions about why we're doing that or what we're doing, I have written about it, and I'd be happy to share with people about it individually. If you'd like to have a conversation, just let me know. All right, so Stager Wednesday and then hashtag raise the standard. So start using those starting today. And thank you, Andrea, for your great idea. I think it's great when you can do something that can unify people. All right, so today we have two fabulous guests. First up, who wants to go first, JoAnne or Joseph? Any of you have pressing appointments you have to get to? Okay, good. All right, so I'll bring Joseph in. Should be giving you the countdown. Let's see if that works. It's not adding you to the studio, Joseph. It's weird. But you're in here twice, so let's see if this works. No. Okay, so I have two screens for you. Let me try this one. So when I'm clicking on Joseph, you're going to have to come back in and out, because when I click on this, I click on the orange arrow and it's not letting me add you. And you had two windows. So I'm going to add JoAnne and then go out and come back in, Joseph, because I can hear you. Okay, here's JoAnne. All right, JoAnne's getting the countdown. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Well,
I feel your pain. I feel your pain. I have been there so many times, and it's like, oh my God, do I look like an idiot right now? Technology is wonderful, but technology can also not be so wonderful. So,
well, you know, it's like because the platform, you know, Be Live, they had the old platform.
I know.
Yep. Then they switch it. And so it's like, you know, why isn't the arrow turning green? Well, I had to put myself in. You have to connect into the studio first. I have to upload myself, which the old version, once you did that, it started the countdown, or you had to go live. So anyhow, it was operator error. I will take responsibility.
No, the new system, in fact, I canceled mine because I was so frustrated with it, and I don't know what the answer is. But for all of you that are out there, you have to understand that, you know, we get on camera like, oh, yeah, there they are, just BSing. I saw Jenny on here earlier, and she didn't know I could see her, and there were some words formed in her lips. She was typing. It was like, oh, I know what she just said.
Well, as long as it wasn't live.
No, it wasn't live.
And I was like typing to the customer service, like, I hate this platform. Why isn't it working?
Yeah.
This poor lady. Yeah, so it was just sort of funny. I'll have to remember that too, that you can hear me.
Yes. Yeah, I couldn't hear you. I could just see you.
Oh, you can see my lips.
And I'm a good lip reader. Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's good. So, JoAnne Lenart Wary, of course, it's a fabulous JoAnne Lenart Wary from JLW Company. And IHOSP and the industry in general just, you know, love her. And so she has a lot of really great educational courses that we have aligned with for color, for redesign, for decorating, and want our members to be able to develop these niche services. And she has a new position too she just took. So why don't you share a little bit about what you're doing?
So for the last 3 years, I have been consulting and freelancing with a company in Seattle called the Staging and Design Network. They have a really cool platform in that they started the first shared rental pool. So let's say, Jenny, you and I are in the same city. I have my inventory and my storage facilities. You have yours. What we can do is we can all bring them together to one location. And then I have the option to rent my inventory to you, or whoever else wants to do it. So if I have an inventory that isn't out. Now, one of the things that makes this so special, as you well know, I mean, we are never done buying inventory. And the beauty of this is that instead of your two bright green chairs showing up in every job you do, you can end up renting someone else's chairs. So your jobs look different and your portfolio looks different. Plus, SDN has supplemented the member inventory with well over $1 million of their own inventory. So they are in Kirkland and Everett, Washington, and on Thursday of next week they are opening in Phoenix. So my position is called the National Director of Education. Who would think you'd get a new job at almost 68 years old? I mean, that's pretty fucking cool, isn't it?
It's awesome.
So, what that simply means is what I've been doing for them on a freelance basis, I'm going to be doing as a paid position, but I still will be teaching my color class on my own, doing some other things, but I'm real excited about SDN. And watch, the goal is to have 3 to 5 new locations in 2020. And truly, it is about, just like your mindset, Jenny, forming a community of stagers and decorators and designers and redesigners, and providing resources that can help them. So that mindset was what really drew me in to them.
Well, and that's really interesting. And I'm going to see, Joseph, are you in here? Yeah. So he's actually, he's going to talk about ScanUnlock, but also some other things he's working on with a tech event with the technology for the industry. His mind is always working, but one of the things he talked about, and he's not sitting down here yet, so I can't bring him in, but an incubator. So he has, there are tech companies that they have the incubator events, and so people can learn and then branch into their own, and they kind of, spread their wings and they go off on their own, but they're being insulated and incubated and learning from somebody who's been there before. So he and I had talked about this. There's a lot of new stagers that get started and then they don't have the resource. They don't have the knowledge. They might shadow with somebody. And then what happens is they might even come on as an official, like assistant or staging team member. And then over so many months, they might go, I'm going to go off on my own. And then there's resentment that happens. People get kind of pissed off at the other person, like they used me and then they left. And, and that's, that can happen in any industry.
Yeah, that's the American dream, kiddos.
Right. Right. And so he used an example of, I'm going to bring him in because I want him to kind of share this too. He used an example of a restaurateur. I don't know if I can do 3 of us. We'll just see. Oh, there you are. Hey, Joseph.
Hey, guys.
Hey, so what JoAnne's doing, her new role, and she was, explaining, like, it feeds right into what you were talking about with me, that needing to have these incubators to talk about the restaurant tour and then how this kind of developed, and then being able to apply this to staging is exactly what SDN is doing.
Yeah, so Paul did an amazing thing. Years ago, he had an employee that left. He's got a deli in Chicago, and an employee left and said, hey, I want to go do my own restaurant concept. And Paul said, so here's the thing about restaurants. They operate on a 10% profit margin. So if you don't hit that, you're going to die. And with that startup cost is expensive, from sourcing goods to branding and logos to interior design and experience of the design of the restaurant itself and all the marketing that goes into it. So Paul said, well, I already have sourcing. I've got great prices on my supply chain. I've got my HR department. I've got marketing, and we're really dialed in. And I hired you because I liked you. I liked you as a person. So what if instead of you just leaving and trying to do your own thing, what if we partnered? And what if I incubated you? And that way you could focus on the branding and the brand niche and not have to worry about the business part of it. We've got that handled. You just go nail that branding. Paul is now owner in over 80 different restaurant chains.
Wow.
So, yeah, so he's really given a lot of people a huge opportunity. And the biggest difference is he put his ego aside and he said, you know what? I hired you because I liked you and I'm going to stick with you. And he invested in them.
And Joe, that is such a good point. You know, I had a coaching session with someone this morning, and when we were all done, you know, she said, "What do you owe me?" And I said, "You don't owe me anything." Because at this stage, we all have a responsibility to help one another succeed. And especially when you've been in the business for a long time. So your friend is really smart because he's elevating the industry at large. He's helping other people to live that American dream as well. And, you know, like I said to the woman this morning, any mistake that you're going to make, I already did. So let me stop you from stepping in the poo-poo. And, you know, I think we have a responsibility as feminists.
And to be fair, it was a smart business decision, right? So
yes.
Paul is now part owner of 80 different franchises.
Right.
Never would have been able to do that on his own.
Yeah.
And they're not all delis. You know, he's got sushi restaurants and all kinds of different brand concepts because he let former employees and people that have come to him come up with their own ideas. And he's just now the supply chain. So a brilliant move. Brilliant move.
It is.
He diversified.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm so glad, Joseph, that I have such a curious mind that you're always looking for new things. And, you know, and that's just what makes anything about life, whether you're my age or your age, that curiosity. And you're just helping so many people. And I didn't take my chin hair off yet so that I can channel Joseph. I'm growing my own beard.
Right. I was like this once, I always make a joke, like it's like they come and go, but there's like this little patch. And I'm like, what the hell is this? And so I'm like, someday, you know, I make a joke, like I'm going to let it grow out and like beat it like Johnny Depp and Caribbean, have little string beads.
When I shaved it off, I got a lot of reaction to that. And then people, when I posted next, I had more scruff growing and they're like, oh, it's back. And I was like, well, it just kind of does that.
Yeah. Right. It just grows in. Yeah. This is the look. You're kind of in between. You had that real long, like ZZ top. So this is nice. It's the curated, the cleaner looking Joseph, which looks good.
You can see my neck.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
That's unfair. Yeah. Because with the women, like we're always trying to hide our necks as we get older. So we have that's like, you know, different things we put on. So maybe we should let our beards grow out so that we can.
Well, JoAnne, we caught up in Nashville about what you were doing, and I just think that that's amazing. And so congrats on getting in on that early, and then congrats on them seeing the value in you in moving that forward, because I think that that's going to be an amazing platform and would actually love to see more of it.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
So the whole idea, because people are writing comments, she says, please bring SDM to Charlotte. Southern California needs you. People are saying that they, you know, they're identifying locations. And, you know, I know it's probably started out as a way to kind of make people's money be able to go further, because it can be a huge capital investment to buy items. Right. And so being able to co-op, you know, there are other people that said, no one's going to touch my stuff. I'm never going to do anything like that. Or this is my inventory. And they're like closed to the chest. The fact is, if you've got stuff in your warehouse and it never goes out, you're losing money because that stuff's taking up space. You're not making any money on it. Why not have it go out with you know, all other stagers to rent? And of course, there's, you know, the agreements and the protection of the items and so forth. You treat it like a client. But I like the whole incubator thing, because even here in Denver, you know, there's people who want to get started, but let's face it, I put down generations. I just wrote that word down. And JoAnne, you're talking about mentoring. You know, we do have a responsibility, those of us that have aged into the industry. There are a lot of younger people who want to get involved, and rather than get upset that, oh, they don't have the background or they're doing this or that, let's educate them, because they are the future of the industry. If we keep it all to ourselves, and then eventually we, we're no longer part of it, and I don't know if we'll be staging until the day we die, who knows. But if we take all that information with us and we don't share it, then the industry is not going to survive, and it will shift into something that we don't really want it to go towards, because it's not design, it's not decorating, it is staging. So we do have a responsibility, and I think the SDN network with Trisha and now you at the helm, I think it's a great opportunity.
So as I understand it, the helm is a co-op, correct, JoAnne?
In essence, yes.
So and then there's a big difference between incubator and co-op. Incubator is typically an investment vehicle. So when you come into a co-op, a co-op is essentially a creative lease space. So they've creatively figured out a way to combine either office space or warehouse space so that you're not saddled with your own burden. The incubator is an investment model, and that's slightly different. Paul, with his incubator model, he took on the financial burden of being the supply chain and the HR and the marketing wing for. And so that's an investment model. So he actually is part owner. So if you guys want, obviously reach out to JoAnne as well on that, but feel free to DM me if you'd like, because I've got my feet in two different sides. I've got my feet, one foot in interior design, lighting design, with the other foot, I'm in tech startup. So these are the worlds that I love. You'll be seeing some stuff I'll be launching here shortly as far as an opportunity for the design community to take part in kind of tech science fair type of a thing. So, stay tuned for that. But feel free to reach out. I love both spaces, and so feel free to reach out.
Well, there's even
the science fair idea.
Yeah.
Oh, JoAnne, I'll shoot you over the early links for that. I'll give you the inside scoop on that one, so you can get I can get your feedback on it.
Okay, love it.
And and the incubator side of it. So for the staging, how we can help other people. The capital investment is the biggest stumbling block for stagers to get started. So we have financial people we're talking to that can help with that piece of it. Put programs in place for, established companies to be able to leverage their capital. So let's say there's an established stager and you're making a lot of profit. You're like, where do I put this profit? You don't want to pay, necessarily losing all the taxes. What if you were to invest it in other colleagues? And if there was not a huge risk with that and so forth. But so the funding side with the investors and the financial market, you can't really go to a bank and get a loan. It's really challenging. We've been there, done that, because we don't have the collateral. We don't have buildings necessarily we own. We have furnishings. And I just talked to another lender guy, and I said, the furnishings are assets to me. They make us money. And he said, but when a bank is looking at that, let's say that the company fails, they're going to acquire this stuff, and they don't want a bunch of couches and chairs and tables. So they're going to sell it off for pennies on the dollar. So to them, it doesn't have any value, even though it's an income generating item. That's how we create our revenue. So we've got to get financial people who understand our industry and are willing to back these stagers. We've got talent, we've got clients, we're ability to market. I estimate minimum $50,000 initial investment to start acquiring furnishings. And of course, most stagers are like, well, you acquire it as you go. Well, what happens is, let's say you have a staging project for $3,000. All that money is going to pay for furnishings, and maybe you need even more. So you're going in the hole. You still have to pay your labor, the movers, any other team members you have. So now you're operating in the red, versus if you had a little nest egg. And I probably are some people that have like money in the bank and, savings set aside. Well, that's not, it's not me. And when I got started, I didn't even have one penny I could put towards. It's very hard to build it the way that, invest as you go. You don't have any debt, which is good, but you're also limited. And we're expanding into a warehouse. Just to move into this warehouse, my estimation is probably 10 grand to get in there, between having to build the shelving, hire the movers to get everything over, and then the space itself, the rental on that. And so it's a big capital outlay. So being able to have something that would allow somebody who's entering the industry to tap into, and then how they could then be like an incubator is they then are the supplier for the furnishings. We are ordering wholesale. So if somebody needs, maybe they only want 2 couches, but the minimum is $2,500. If you pool the resources, I order the things, I become the supplier to the other stagers, and that's the incubator model, plus helping them with their business. So other areas that we could provide, that's really the biggest income resource for stagers would be the furnishings. So that's where I could see that model taking place.
Well, so I'll share a little bit about because we do have traction on it already. And then Jenny, maybe you could present at this. So it's called the Design Innovation Fair, and it's scheduled for Monday, April 27th at High Point Market. Okay. We're still working out some of the details, but so what this is it's going to be a science fair type of event. So not Shark Tank where you're standing in front of sharks pitching. This is going to be your elementary school science fair where you present your ideas, your concepts, your inventions, your products. So the idea might be a incubator for the staging industry. So you would present your idea, and we already have HGTV's Chip Wade, and we've got Shark Tank's Kirsten Hathcock. We are working on a few other celebrity judges on top of that, and we're just waiting on the final confirmation on it, but a rep from Lululemon. And we've got some Tech Host people. We've got some Sequoia Group, some VC capital people coming in. So you will be getting your idea not only in front of the design community, where they're going to be able to take a look at what you're working on and kind of throw their support behind it, but you'll also be able to get it in front of press, in front of celebrity designers and venture capitalists. And we'll all get to learn a little bit about that whole world. I wanted to give a platform for our design community to be able to have those ideas that we've had and take them to the next step. So we've partnered with Moonshot, and then I've got calls in with, I've already launched 2 of them, but with 1 Million Cups. They're a weekly pitch competition platform for taking that next step on your business idea. So we've already partnered with Moonshot. I've got to get confirmation from 1 Million Cups, but not only will you be able to present your idea for cash prizes, so we're going to be doing the big check, but you'll also be able to network with venture capitalists and startup incubators so that you can actually take your idea to the next level.
So what is Moonshot? I've never heard of them.
So Moonshot, they work with startups. So let's say you've got an idea, you've even got a pitch deck, or you're working on a pitch deck. So you can work with, get a hold of them. They're out of Arizona and expanding, but they will help you work on your pitch so that you can get it in front of investors, and they will help you get in front of investors. Awesome. I mean, Same thing with 1 Million Cups. It gives you that preparation to get it in front of. But I'm going the step further. I'm bringing those guys, and I'm bringing the venture capital money. So the guys that can literally, they're funding Pinterest $1 billion and, all the different investment firms.
So we need people to invest in our industry, and that goes to the industry standards. Before that even happens, we want to make sure that we have the professional standards set up so that people who are participating are part of that, but also the people that are looking at investing in the industry understand who we are and what we do and why we're worth investing in. So that becomes even more important, because these are going to it's outside money coming in. Now, certainly there's companies within the staging industry that people are making good money. And so if you're watching and you're thinking like, I'd like to be able to invest in colleagues, make your money work for you, let us know, because that could be a possibility.
And there's so much that goes into that when you take on investment. So first of all, you can't take on investment as a LLC. An LLC, when you take on an investor, that's actually a business partner. The government doesn't see that as an investor. They see that as a business partner. And as a business partner, totally different structure. If you are going to bring on investors, you have to be structured as a C Corp or an S Corp. That's the financial structures of business structures in order to issue equity shares. And then within that, in issuing equity shares, there's all kinds of different financial vehicles. There's convertible notes, there's safe notes, there's different types of vehicles for issuing shares. So, and then there's IPO, and that's the one everybody dreams of, and that's the one where it goes public and companies make a ton of money. But so there's a lot to learn in taking those steps. So at the Design Innovation Fair, I'm looking to put some of those resources in front of us and start connecting those dots for us. So Jenny, that might be a great one to present in front of those people, because you're going to have your startup help, and then you're going to have your big VC people that I'll tell you in launching. This is now my 4th tech startup. Getting a meeting in Menlo Park in Silicon Valley with Sequoia Group or Kleiner Perkins or the big decision makers at Chase, that is not easy to navigate. So if you can cut through some of that and get those introductions, that's what I'm looking to set up for in April.
So for people that are watching, if they have an idea, like I'm thinking of Natalie Lawrence, who came to our conference, she's got that whole technology aspect as far as planning your staging and so forth. Someone like that, or even, Stage 4, some of these, technology-based systems that staging industry is already utilizing, how would they reach out? They just reach out to you to submit an application to present? So
technically it's not public yet, but I will be putting it out there. Obviously, you know that when I put an announcement out there, I slather social media with everything. So expect me to just be pimping this out. But yeah, it'll be there. And then you fill out the form. We're doing a $20 hold deposit just because we are going to have limited space. So I didn't want people applying and then dropping out for whatever reason. It's $20, and on the day of, we'll refund the $20. I just wanted to make sure that everybody who was involved was committed and would be there, and then I'll refund the $20. So it's just a hold deposit.
You can keep my 20.
Maybe we'll take you to coffee. We'll have a meal.
Yeah, it should be a fun event. I mean, we've already got Chip Wade. He, as soon as he heard about it, he was like, I'm in. And if you guys don't know Chip Wade, I'll post photos, but he looks like Mr. Clean, and he is everywhere. He is amazing. And the energy behind that guy. And then Kirsten Hathcock, she was on Shark Tank. She was a mom who she had, her kids were young, and like their toys were scattered around, and they had like the kid toy boxes. And she was like, I want something cooler. I want something. Her house was very mid-century modern. So in her basement, she started making kids furniture. And people started asking her, hey, where did you get that mid-century modern kids chest? And she was like, oh, I made it. So she started getting traction, and she went on Shark Tank, and Barbara invested in her company. And so her company is Mod Mom Furniture. And so she's going to be there. She speaks at TED Talks. She is amazing and just great energy, and has navigated the system. So when she's going around meeting the different companies, you're going to get a lot of value out of her.
Which is really great. And so, and the financial side, I want to have my my son, and then his business partner on the financial side. His name is Frank. So it's basically leveraging your capital so that you're pulling your money out of, you're not relying on the banks and stock market for investments and so forth, but you build equity over time with I think it's a insurance model. But when I take a look at it, not only helps you get out of debt super fast, you can pay things off, but the money is a working capital. You can access it with no tax ramifications at any time. And so I've sat down with them, and I don't like getting down into the weeds too much with details. I'm just like, tell me what I need to do so that this will work, because that then would allow people within the industry to invest in other people as well. So, because I'm thinking, that again, going back to the money side and things like the SDN, setting up, the reason why those are necessary is because there's just a lot of stagers that they either don't want to have to run a warehouse and the logistics. I was forced into having to do what I'm doing now. Right. And I've done it before, so it's not like a huge deal, but it's like, I would have preferred not to have to tie up all that capital. It's been probably about $200,000 just since like May that I've had to put out for furnishings and other things. And I would much rather, apply that somewhere else. But the good side is that we'll have this warehouse that we can utilize for our projects. But there's a lot of stagers that are not able to do that or don't want to. So I see there's like a connection, an interconnection between SDN, the incubator model, what's happening with the tech, being able to provide things for stagers that can help them thrive. Because
JoAnne,
yeah, go ahead.
I was curious, JoAnne, and I don't know if people posted in the comments already, but where is SDN located? Which states can people already find them in? And then how do they go about joining?
So currently they are in the Seattle area, in Everett and Kirkland. Those were their first two locations. They're opening in Phoenix next week. And so I will be flying to Phoenix next week for that and to do an education week. There are a number of other spots on the horizon, and that will be to be determined. But, the whole idea of a model where you don't have to have as much of an investment in furniture. And also, what I love about them and, is the well-rounded element. They get it. Which is why I'm their education director. We're never done learning. We're never done getting better. And just when you have it all figured out, something new comes along. My God, I've certainly seen so many twists and turns in my 40-some years in the business. So the state of Washington and Phoenix at this point, and other locations to be announced.
Right. And then even there, so iHosp, we're talking about a collaboration with SDN for education, for resources to be able to provide to our members as a benefit of being part of our association. And I could even see education taking place at these facilities, whether it's a class that, a staging course that's taught, or certainly any, like the math. I know on my side, I'm thinking like, well, we teach our staging classes. We need locations. We usually teach at road reports and so forth. We did a class in San Diego at a furniture rental company, and it was a fabulous class, really well attended. And the rental companies, if you notice, there were none at our show, at our conference. And that was on purpose, because through the years, and, I've certainly used the different rental companies for the furnishings, and they're a great resource for us to have. However, they take business from stagers, which annoys me. And then they don't tell the truth about that. So I'll ask them point blank, do you stage properties? And they'll say, oh, no, we refer the business out. And then you see their truck rolling up in a neighborhood, and there's no stager assigned to it. It's them putting furniture in. And their goal is to rent their furniture. That's how they make their money. Right. So corporate farm rentals, whatever the thing, that's how they make their money. And there's nothing wrong with that. But they're not a staging industry business. They found us. They started providing items to us, but they make it very difficult to work with them with rental terms and, the pricing and so forth, that it can be make prices us out of projects. It makes it so we can't even win a staging project. And so having a co-op model, I'm not sure how the pricing and so forth works. We don't have to get into that today, but I'm hoping that it's better than the rental companies. It's more flexible. The other thing too, it's a curated look too, in essence, because we're stagers, we know what properties need. So I'm not trying to make some rental piece that's really not suitable, but that's all they have. That's their last dining room table available. Right. Send it to my house, because that's all I don't have anything else. I want to, get stagers get away from that. So I think this is the perfect storm, if you will.
Yes.
Well, JoAnne, I would love to get out and meet with them. Are they headquartered out in Phoenix, or are they headquartered out in
They're
Washington?
Headquartered in Seattle. And Joseph, I would be happy to make a introduction for you. In fact, I had just sent them an email to the powers that be and said, you need to be checking out this ScanUnlock.
Yeah, so let's talk about ScanUnlock.
So I've been talking about you, Joe, my fellow chin hair person.
Well, I again would love to meet with them. It's just they seem like my people. So so ScanUnlock, I am super excited about that because you mentioned, Jenny, essentially staging is rental, and even with the co-op, they're essentially figuring out a creative way to supply inventory so that you can go rent out your inventory to open house listings. So what we're doing with ScanUnlock is, well, and let me preface this. So malls and retail locations are closing down all throughout the country. Companies like Amazon and Wayfair, the access of online products is so easy that it's just killing the retail industry. We saw it happen. We saw Amazon just shut down bookstores. And now Amazon and, you've got your e-commerce platforms, and they're going to shut down retail furnishings as well. So your decor places and your furniture showrooms, especially the little guys, they're out. They're just not going to be able to survive.
I'm going to reveal what's behind the curtain since you're talking about Amazon. Watch this.
Was it stacks of Amazon? Yeah. Well,
yeah, that's that stuff I got for the cabin. So we're doing this at Airbnb. So I got some new home decor stuff, and I ordered it all on Amazon, and it's shipped in, and we just got to get it up to the mountains. So you're right. I don't have time to go to 25 different stores to find something. I was able to find, because I was looking for particular theme related items. I ordered everything. It's shipped to the house. We'll take it up to the mountains. So.
And I don't mean to vilify Amazon. It is an amazing platform that gives us access to products like we've never had before. It is an amazing platform, and kudos. So when you get into furniture, though, this becomes a different story. So shipping is a factor. So when they ship you out that couch or they ship you out that table, it costs them more money. If you don't like it, it costs them more money to return it than to just have you keep it and they ship you a new one. So the long-term effect of that is that as time goes on, those companies are going to have to recoup that cost. And that cost is substantial. And so what they're going to do is they're going to keep the outside looking kind of the same, but over time, the inside is going to be made out of compressed wood and lower grade materials, more zinc in the metal. And so that quality of product will start to deteriorate. Fortunately, we do work on a cyclical system, and I think that in the next 10 and 20 years, you'll see a resurgence of shopping local, and you'll see more handcrafted furniture making.
Yeah.
But what this means for home staging is there's a huge opportunity. So with ScanUnlock, imagine when you go to an open house this weekend. First of all, most people that are going to go to that open house aren't going to buy the house. They're going to look, and if it's staged, those people aren't actually even looking at the walls anymore. They're looking at the furniture.
Right.
And so they're taking out their camera and they're taking photos. But they can't shop that. They're going home and they're looking for stuff online, probably Amazon, to buy that furniture. But you, as a stager, have already built that relationship with the manufacturer. So with ScanUnlock, we're making open houses shoppable, staged homes shoppable. So now imagine, instead of a bunch of QR codes everywhere, that there's one sign when you walk in and it says all of the products in this listing are shoppable. You hover your phone over it, you open up your camera, you hover your phone, and it unlocks all the products in that listing onto your phone. And now all of those leads go to the home stager. So you get all those inbox requests for, hey, I'm curious about that lamp, or I love the artwork. Do they come in other things? What is the price? It's totally dictated by you, and all of the orders go through you. You've already got the relationship with the manufacturer. So what that did was a couple of things. We've now made you into a pop-up retail location. And in the world of retail, this is called flex retail. You have the ability to scale up and scale down. So if you were to compare this opportunity to a brick and mortar, if I'm a brick and mortar, I own a 1,000 square foot showroom, and hopefully I got it on a good street corner. If I got good traffic, then awesome. If I got bad traffic, oh well. In order for me to move, it's going to be really expensive for me to go from a 1,000 square foot to a 2,000 square foot. But as home stagers, you guys, and then you guys let me know, and maybe you guys can post in the comments, on average, how many listings do you have on any given weekend? And I would say on average, you're looking at about 6 to 12 locations on any given weekend. And let's just say that each of those locations was 2,000 square feet. So you're talking as a retailer, you have flex square footage. You've got retail space of 12 to 24,000 square feet of retail space that you're not utilizing right now.
Right.
And so in talking with manufacturers out at High Point, this is a gold mine because home stagers collectively, you're looking at, around 10,000 home stagers at 12,000 square feet each, you're looking at 120 million square feet of retail space.
Wow.
That is a powerhouse.
Wow.
When I talked with American Leather, they said that would be like discovering a new continent because, that American Leather, they run their entire business off of roughly 600 retail locations. So the opportunity to discover 10,000 new retail locations is unheard of. So the opportunity is real. And the way that ScanUnlock works, it costs you nothing on the front end. So you create your profile, you create your event for that listing, you upload your photos, you download your signage. Yep, there you go. Super easy.
This is a I was trying to upload my QR code as a picture to the comments. I couldn't, but this is my profile. So this is an event. So it's one of the houses we stayed in Tejon Street. So that's the QR code that somebody could click on. It would unlock the house. And so these are the different things that are in there. So if I tap on this, it has a description of let's see. Can you guys see that? Living room grouping, light colored upholstered pieces, whatever. And so people can then touch it. They could tap on it. They could engage with it. But I loaded all the pictures in of that particular room, and I did that for every room in the house. So so I click on my profile here. It says your events, and it's going to be Tejon Street. So I'm trying to do this backwards here. And then, it has all the different. So they can look by room, and they could shop the look. And then if I actually had pictures of the individual product, which is what I want to do, you were doing that when you were here. I wish you'd been here for that one because that was actually a nice house. It wasn't some of the stages was visiting. They were kind of like, and they all sold it, by the way. Those sold really fast. You could take a picture of the couch itself. People could just touch the couch versus just the look itself. So you could be as in depth. I could take a picture of a plate or a glass if people wanted it. So you could get in as detailed as you want, and then people could touch and say, I want that item, and then you could sell it to them.
Yeah, I mean, what this means for so if you're already staging vacants, this is great, and because now the inventory that you're buying, it's no longer inventory. Now this is a floor sample. Yeah. And I've had stagers come back and say, well, I don't want to sell my inventory because then I've got to keep replenishing it. So you don't. Now, when you buy that, you will need to make sure that it's in stock. And so already working with the manufacturers, and this is why in partnering with IHOS, this is so important because those manufacturers, as we're getting out and talking with them, they understand this as an e-commerce model and as a retail model. So what they'll do is they will keep you up to date on what products are in stock and what is canceled, what's discontinued. So let's say that you buy this lamp from Global Views, and Global Views has that in stock, and so you stage this in a house this weekend, and people come through and they want to buy this lamp. So you're not selling them this lamp. You're contacting Global Views and you're drop shipping them that the brand new version of that lamp. So you're making full retail. If you want to run a discount and say, hey, 20% off, totally up to you. But you're realizing you're making your revenue off of the difference between wholesale and retail, and you're selling it at retail. So
the other piece of it too is if you just have the QR code for the property, that could be hire me to stage your house. You could promote the entire look and market that out to real estate agents, the investors, builders, and so forth, to target clients they're shopping you now. So they can actually unlock the entire property versus having to, search online or looking at one picture at a time. There's a lot of really cool applications for staging. And of course, our partner vendors are really excited about it too, because it opens up the opportunity for them to know exactly what we're interested in. Because like at our event, at our conference, if they took the time to load up their items and let's say they had 5 couches or something that they decided to promote, and 4 out of the 5 got attention and this other one was a dud, they're not interested in this one, or they're going to know this person really liked, there's these 25 people that really like this couch. They can follow directly with those people. And that's how the app makes money. It's the lead generation. It's qualified leads, people who are actually interested in and engaged. And then the company has the opportunity to say, yes, I want to continue the conversation and I'll buy these leads, versus just getting a massive database where people really weren't interested. You have no idea what they were interested in. So
yeah. So for the Go on, JoAnne.
I was going to say another thing that I think is fascinating is you also now are allowing the stager to basically create their own mini focus group. Because if that sofa gets 25 interested people and another sofa no one does, then you say, I'm selling that sofa off because it's not doing its job as a staging product either. So, this is such a well-rounded approach to the entire process.
Yeah, so the way our system works, so there's an open house this weekend. Sarah walks in, she scans the one QR code, unlocks all the products, and then in that, she goes through and she likes the lamp, and she likes the sofa, and she likes the artwork. And she likes the artwork so much that she hits the contact button and sends you a message saying, hey, I'd like more information about the artwork. On Monday, our system sends you an email that says, here's how many people visited your location. Here are your top performing items. Here are how many people engaged with product. They took an action. They liked it. They pinned it. They hit contact. Sarah looked at these items. Would you like to send Sarah a custom email with only the products that she engaged with? And then you then have an opportunity to then upgrade for $2 a person. So if Sarah looked at one item and Bob looked at 30 items, engaged with 30 items, it's only going to cost you $2. So sending Sarah and Bob a custom email, getting those products back in front of them so that they can remember, oh yeah, I did like that lamp and I had a question about that artwork. I wanted to buy that artwork. It's only going to cost you $4. So with that, you also get the download of all the contacts. Now, that contacts list, so let's just look at your existing staging business right now. You get hired to stage a location, you go stage it, you leave, and then you're just waiting to hear if the house sold, and then you've got to go get over there and get your furniture out. Mm-hmm. So you don't know how many people came through that open house, how many people were showed that listing. You don't have any idea of what they actually looked at. Now, as stagers, we say, you know what? We are staging these homes based off of marketing. And so when you go buy your inventory, you're finding things that you would think would stage well. Mm-hmm. But in reality, you're not on premise to find out what's actually staging well, what's resonating with people. So without paying ScanUnlock a dime, you could just receive your emails in on Monday. Just that alone right there is going to let you know that, you know what, this sofa is or is not doing well. Are people engaging with it? So right away, you're going to learn more about your inventory and what resonates with your market than just staging right now and hoping that you're buying the right items. So to JoAnne's point, yeah, there's right away, it's got an educational component, and that's free. Now, that download of contacts. So right now, as a stager, you're trying to get in front of more investors. You're trying to get in front of more clients so that you can stage more homes. But you're not building a subscriber list. So now with that download of all those contacts, what this means is you can easily put together a newsletter. You've got the contacts now. And you can say, hey, I just bought new inventory. This lamp is going to be at this location because, you know, whatever realtor is doing an open house, go check out my products at this location. This sofa, you saw it last week in a bungalow. Go check it out in a mid-century modern. It's going to be at this location. Here's the realtor's information. Contact them for a showing. So with that, let's say that last week you had 20 people go to one of your listings, 10 people go to another, and 15 go to another. So you've got 45 people, right? Currently, you don't know that number. You don't know who those people are.
Right.
With ScanUnlock for $2 a person, so that 45 people is going to be what, $90. So for $90, you're building that subscriber list. What's that? Oh yeah.
Price.
Yeah. So with that, now you've got a subscriber list. And with that subscriber list, you're driving those 20, 10, and 15 people to the location. So right now, as a stager, the value that you give a realtor is that you're going to stage the home, and it's going to help sell that house faster and typically for more money.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as a stager, you're even able to drive traffic to that listing. Those people are out looking for homes. They're out at open houses anyhow, and now you're able to drive traffic. So the realtor is looking at, do I hire this staging company or do I hire this staging company? This staging company is sending traffic to my open houses, and I want traffic at my open houses.
Right, you want visibility. And so people are asking about, like, if you sell something, you do have to do taxes. So Virginia, you were asking about sales tax. So that's, you need to talk to your CPA or, your state people. But of course, when you sell something, you do need to charge the appropriate tax on that item. And then Charlie was asking about, what about Hawaii? So, I mean, any place, it's all relative to getting the items there. So I know Hawaii is a challenge because of it's an island. So obviously shipping is going to be a factor, but people have to buy stuff anyway. At the houses. So that would be between the manufacturer who has the furniture they're willing to ship to the islands. But there's resources you have in Hawaii. So you could, whether you're buying from a wholesale manufacturer, Amazon or whatever, you can still use the system to be able to promote your products and get, this is a great way to turn your inventory as well. Mm-hmm. So if you're the look, you could send out a thing that this is going to all be, we're, clearing out, making room for new things. You like what you see, shop the look. So I think it's a great way. And to me, that's better than garage sale or giving things away or, not getting rid of it and it's taking up space. I'm like, if it hasn't gone out to the show in a year, get rid of it.
Right. And just the brilliance of the fact that you have just created another revenue stream for a stager. And that's the bottom line. We have to diversify our revenue stream. Right. And you've just created that Mr. Brilliant. You need a t-shirt or a cape. You need a cape, Joe.
Right.
Well, I think when it does give that opportunity, it gives so many opportunities. It gives the opportunity for a new revenue stream. It gives an opportunity for you to better your buying purchases for your inventory. It opens up the retail location. I mean, that's 10,000 potential new retailers that are out there that nobody was tapping before. And then ultimately, I think that what happens is in staging is you quit necessarily running out to the home goods or to your local spot to fill in items. And I think what happens is you get really, really loyal to certain brands that offer drop shipping, that work with you, because now you're a merchandiser. Right. You're a retail location and you're merchandising. And so those manufacturers are all too happy to supply you with promos and swag and different giveaways and different opportunities that you weren't getting as a stager. So it really does just crack open a lot of opportunity. And for the consumer who, you need to go sit on this sofa. You need to go do that. And that's what a showroom's good for. As showrooms are closing, where do we go? And I'm betting on the fact that it's going to be open houses. It's going to be pop-up retail, and you guys are the best positioned to just capitalize on that market.
Which I'm really excited about. So believe it or not, we're at 64 minutes. I'm going to edit the first part of it, but I want to say any last words for JoAnne? Anything else you wanted to share about what you're doing? Are you frozen? So I think her skin, I lost her. Something happened to JoAnne. All right, Joseph, any last words?
So watch for, we're going to be, you and I through iHosp, we're going to be working on webinars so that we can answer questions and kind of get this out there and get that opportunity out to home staging. Second, it's free. So visit us at www.scanunlock.com and create your profile and get started on your events today. It costs you nothing to get started. And even when you get that email, take a look at it. And if it provides you value, then I suggest give it a shot.
Yeah, and it's very easy to set up the profile. Okay, good. JoAnne's going to come back in. It's very easy to set it up. You have to upload it. You get a little banner picture. You get your profile picture, and then events are because we're adapting this. It's for trade shows and so forth. An event would be a property that you've staged. And then you can I don't put the actual physical address because I don't want people going, and this is public. So I don't want people going in, oh, look at all this great stuff in this vacant house. I think I'll go rob it. So I put just the street name. And then you have to, and we'll educate you guys on this too, but there's a certain time limit you can set. So there's some customization features that'll make it easy to use. And so Joseph and I will be putting together a series of webinar education on this to help you all understand how to use this for your business. Because as you just heard, there's so many different ways. And if this is the first time you're listening in, I know people's heads are spinning like, I just want to get a house staged. How could I factor all this in? But it's all about generating revenue, and it's also the future of how people are going to be shopping. And I think it's genius. So I'm excited to have you as part of the iHouse, family portal with the technology. And I'm really excited about the High Point Market. That event's going to be really amazing.
Yeah, I just love the community. And in everything I do, it's about connecting people. And I just think that this is ScanUnlock is a great way to solve the retail showroom problem and create a revenue stream for staging. And I'll tell you, walking around High Point Market, talking to the manufacturers, they were like, you know what? We understand the retail model all day, every day. So if you hit barriers with manufacturers, this is one of those ways that's just going to get you right past that barrier. And then with the Design Innovation Fair, that is just going to be such an opportunity for people who've been sitting on ideas and didn't know how to take it to the next level. So when we make the full public announcement on that, I invite people to attend and register to present.
Awesome. All right, JoAnne, any last things you want to share? You're back.
I'm back. Yes, my computer went dead. I just think this is brilliant. I mean, we're not talking about decorating or color today, but everything that Joe is sharing with us is just amazing. And I just love how, again, it elevates our industry at large. Vicki said, I love that Joseph is so passionate about this. And yes, your passion and your enthusiasm is infectious. So, I think it just has to be for all of us. Pay attention, see what's happening out there, how you can diversify your business. And thank you, Joseph, for sharing this with us.
Right.
Thank you, JoAnne, for what you're working on. That co-op is a brilliant idea, and I'm so glad that they teamed up with you so that you can bridge the education gap. Because I know on the techie side, we'll get really techie, and we won't know how to communicate that. So good job.
Right. Thanks.
So JoAnne, talk about what do you have coming up as far as classes? So I know the color course, when does the next one start? Because you have the online at any time, right?
I have the online class, but I'm going to do a special launch in January to do the blended class. So we will do a mixed live and online format. We had a few people that had bought the color class at conference for special events. So I want to make sure that they get on top of that. And of course, we had talked before about what every stager needs to know about design, and it's ready to launch. I just don't know if this is the best time of year because, again, that'll be an online class. And the way it will be is a 5-week program. Each week there will be an assignment. So this is not going to be a listen to what someone has to say and move on. I want you really interacting and understanding that aspect of it. So if there's an interest, we'll launch those classes in November or December, and people can get started when maybe their business is slowed down a little. If not, then we'll launch them in January. And I'm always working on new things and new ways of marketing. And probably the one thing I'd like to say, Jenny, is, if people aren't on there, hop onto our Real Decorators and Stagers group on Facebook Wednesday nights at 7. We're keeping it real there, and Sandra Race and I are sharing all kinds of ideas and helping people. We're talking about everything from color. Last week, Sandra was at a national award-winning florist in Chicley who has done floral design at the White House. Kirby Holt is amazing. We did a segment there, so go over to the page, look at some of our past videos. I'm just all about empowering with education because it elevates.
It does. And we can never stop learning. I love that you said that, because the industry is always evolving. If you stop learning and if you just stand still, you're not actually standing still. People start going by. So you're actually going backwards.
Absolutely. Yeah. Don't ever think you know it all, because, I will, as many years as I've been doing this, that's why I'm still doing it, because I love the fact that, I have an opportunity to meet someone like Joseph who puts a whole new twist to what I have been doing. So this is an exciting industry. And you know that I go beyond staging into the design world as well. But it's just so exciting. And I love transforming beautiful rooms, but I just love watching the industry transform as well.
Right. Even like with color, somebody could be, in a house where they help somebody select color, and then they could be like, do you like the looks? How many times do people go, what is that color on the wall? And then, I know, like, I bought the little, looks like a little telescope, little mini color thing the
Color Muse.
Color Muse, yeah. But still, it's all about the lighting, and you don't really know. It's not the exact color. It depends on the lighting in the house and so forth. So you get this whole list of like, this is good, could possibly be this one or this one or that one. How great it would be to have a QR code. The person could say, if you like the paint colors, click here, and then that unlocks, like, what are you looking for? And that person could load up this room, that room, this room, and then they could be contacted for additional business. So the applications of the ScanUnlock are endless. I think.
Oh, we are already several different showcase houses will be using us as well. So when you go through, like, we're still talking with Modernism Week and Pasadena Showcase House, and but those homes, as you walk through, you'll be able to know all of it. And those manufacturers will get a benefit of putting that product up for those show homes. Right now, they're not. They're putting it there. They're putting up their product, and people are just snapping photos and moving on. And now they'll be able to shop those products. So that's going to be huge.
They don't buy into the community, and they're not going to the design center to pick out their selections, and they're just basically shopping just to kind of, have fun, or maybe they're planning for the future. But they really like a tile, or they really like a carpeting that's in a house. Now they can actually see what that is and put that in their existing home if they want to. They don't have to guess and then go online and try to match up a picture. It's me right there, and it drives that business directly to the provider, which is, so many. You could be. We talked about one of these little summer fairs, these vendors that are out there, and they have their booths. And if they have a ScanUnlock code, you could click. I don't want to go look at every little item, but I could click, and then I could, on my leisure, I could look and see what they have. And these are all local farmers markets and things like that, and how much business I could drive to the little guy to be able to be able to see their product. It's just endless.
Yeah, we target. So this is a solution in 4 different markets. We've got home staging. We've got trade show, which was kind of what it was designed for. Showcase houses, and retail. So with trade show, as an attendee, you register, you get the badge, and you want to go booth to booth cataloging your finds. You just want to go, you know what, I like this thing in that booth. And so you're taking your camera and you're taking photos. So that's the problem. The manufacturer, they want to get that thing that you saw back in front of you. And right now, they're just not very good at that. Right now, they're going to send you a thanks for visiting our booth. Here's our new items. Well, was that necessarily that lamp? So trade shows, home staging, right away, it makes open houses shoppable. It activates, 10,000 new retail locations globally with flex retail space. Showcase houses, it makes those shoppable as well. Right now, those designers put all that work in sourcing all that product. Hundreds of people come by every hour snapping photos. now all of that revenue can go through the designer. So now all those sales transactions go through them. And then retail. So right now when you go to IKEA, you can pick up the little piece of paper and the little pencil, which is lame. So with ScanUnlock, you'd be able to go up to the vignettes and hover your phone over the QR code and unlock that vignette onto your phone. And then through them, what we'll be working on in future iterations is the ability to then choose, do you want to order that online? Do you want to pick it up downstairs, or do you want them to have it ready for you at the counter? So just transforms that whole, all four marketplaces.
Joseph, you need to think about this too, the textile industry. So I always speak at the International Window Coverings Expo, which is coming up in March in Charlotte again. So even from that standpoint, so many of these custom workrooms are really struggling, but if they can be selling to the trade-only fabrics in events, maybe even connecting some with stagers or other designers. I mean, there's so many arms of this industry that this could impact. So
definitely.
Well, if you guys are exhibiting, if you guys watching are exhibiting at a trade show, this is perfect for those. So feel free to take ScanUnlock with you to your trade shows. Honestly, ScanUnlock as a trade show platform is good for all trade shows. So this is good for your school book fair. This is good for the boat show. This is good for your arts and crafts, your tattoo.
It could even be for, jewelry, maybe, but it could even be for education. People could unlock, and then they have it could be virtual, financial products, educational products. It's endless how you can apply this, whether it's tangible, you're standing there, or it's a company that says these are the different things we offer, and then people engage, and you're actually getting viable leads back, people that are interested in that particular item that you're selling. So, I'm really excited about how this will really help drive focused traffic to business owners to help them, derive different income streams and be more successful. So,
well, we'll be at in New York this weekend at the BDNY show. So we've got over 24 manufacturers that will be using us, and then I'm meeting with the event organizers so that they can see how it works in real life, and then they're looking to then adopt it at their shows going forward.
Which is great. And so Virginia was asking, does it only apply to open houses? No, it's just anybody that goes into the property and can ScanUnlock. So he's just using open houses because traffic comes through, but there's a lot of agents that don't believe in those, which is stupid because we sold 2 houses via open houses. So, and we actually bought a house from an open house. So I do like promoting, that, but anybody that goes in the house you'd have a sign, like this, you can have a clear board sign, or you can have a little thing in a frame, a picture frame that has the ScanUnlock information. They just click on that and unlock the items, or you can have it by room. So there's a lot of,
it's not QR codes on every item. There's no price tags everywhere, which no realtor is going to be okay with you doing that. This is one sign.
Right. No
you
things
can download
from a lamp, or like tags hanging from. That is so tacky when they have buy this piece of art and there's like a price tag hanging down. I just think that's so tacky.
Yeah.
So this is eliminate all of that, but still allow people to sell their things or to derive another income source. If you want to do that as a stager, because you're already sourcing that stuff anyway, you may as well, have that other income resource. So I got to have you guys both back on, because we are now at 78.5 minutes. Although the first probably 5 minutes was me cursing and being frustrated. So I'll have to delete that part of it. But I love both of you guys. I'm so happy to have you on. We'll definitely have you back on to talk about the launch. You should go live, JoAnne. I'm sure you're planning to, from Phoenix. And then I want to have you and Sandra on to talk about the courses. Sheena had a conversation. We'll kind of flush that out and then have you on to kind of announce what we're doing with the classes. So.
Okay, good. And then I want to talk about some ideas, some marketing ideas using color. So, we will do that. Joseph, it was a pleasure sharing the platform with you today. Thank you so much. And I'm glad we get to talk to you now, because the next time I see you, you're going to be the guy sitting at Shark Tank. So, you're going to be one of the sharks. So this
remember back when.
Brilliant idea.
Yeah. Yep. Well, thank you, everybody. Thanks, everybody who tuned in. If you're watching now or later, please share this out to your people as well, so we reach as many people as possible. And of course, if you have any questions, let us know. This will be on homestagingtalkshow.com and also our YouTube channel. I'll upload them there so you can watch and replay the conversation. So thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of your week. We'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.